I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanye Juda Soge Chonam No Chanju Bardo Dani Age Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjer Sanye Drubarai Shom Sanye Juda Soge Chonam No Chanju Bardo Dani Gyapsuche Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjer Sanje Drubara Isho Sanje Joda Soge Chonam Chanju Bardo Dane Gyapsuch Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjer Sanje Drubara Isho Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Desham Dathagato Yavatat Desham Chayo Niroda Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Desham Dathagat Yavatat Desham Chayo Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha Om Ye Dharma Vetu Prabhava Hetum Desham Dathagato Yavatat Desham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, this morning where did we live? Where? Or the text? Yes. Okay. One's mind is primordially unborn. It is the nature of emptiness. So here, one's mind is primordially unborn, meaning unborn. This is a word that we come across very often in the Buddhist text, particularly the minor Buddhist texts. The mind, one's mind, for Chittamatra, who reject the permanent, unitary, independent self, then they espouse the self, the mind as intrinsic, as truly real, and the rest, they're all just the reflection of the mind. And then Arya Nagarjuna says that even this mind does not exist truly. And how do we know that this mind, that everything, including the mind, does not exist truly? How do we know that? So is it that we have to believe in the Buddha, or how do we know that? This is a question. This is a very serious question. So therefore, in Buddhism, there's nothing that you have to believe in the Buddha. The Buddha teaches something, and then our job is to learn it and see if it tallies with the reality, if it accords with the reality. So we have to check it. This is what I mentioned yesterday, that the Buddha, this is a verse which makes us feel so comfortable to see that what the Buddha taught is something that he encouraged us to analyze, inquire, not to believe and not to take with blind faith. So the bhikshus and the wise people, just as the goldsmith tests the purity of the gold by cutting, rubbing, burning the gold, you should also examine my words and put them into practice, not simply because you respect me. So with this in mind, we need to check how the mind, how even the mind, everything is like a dream, and the mind is also like a dream. How do we know that? I would say that this is a core. This is the main thing. What for the Buddha Shakyamuni came on this planet Earth to teach that everything's like a dream and wake up from the sleep of ignorance. That the tears, the fears in the dream will all stop. Dream of samsara will stop. Okay, so the that the study of particularly how the mind does not exist. This is where we see that if you read the philosophical texts of the different traditions within Buddhism, outside Buddhism, somehow there's a great the emphasis on the say some true existence of something. For example, like earlier, I would say in a way, I would say this is amazing. Particularly India is amazing country where it produced many philosophical traditions. There's one philosophical school which says that who asked the question was asked, who created all these things? This was a question that was asked. They very boldly asked in those days in India, who created all these things? So in my studies, I've learned all these things. They say some of the classical philosophical traditions. So in the past India, the philosophical traditions and the religion, spirituality, these two are mixed. The spirituality is blended with the philosophical tradition. And the philosophical traditions, they're all related to the spirituality. But I would say that in the West, the Western philosophy may not necessarily, from my point of view, and I'm sure that there are some who are taking Western philosophy, reading, for example, like reading the philosophical text by Descartes, Carl Jung, and the David Hume. Reading them, they don't really give you, say, the spiritual part. They just talk about the philosophical, the position, and this is what you see. This is slightly different there. These two are different. So on that basis, we see that in India, this question was asked: who created all these? And I studied all these things. And when I was in my late 20s, I was very fascinated. Okay, look, I'm not too sure how many of you got the same feeling that they say the Buddha taught that everything comes into existence. All the composite phenomena, they come into existence by dependence on the early causes and conditions. Buddha said, whoever sees dependent origination will see the Dharma. Whoever sees the Dharma will see the Buddha. Because this exists, that exists. Because this is produced, that is produced. Very clearly the Buddha said that everything operates on the basis of cause and effect, which Albert Einstein said the whole universe operates on the basis of the physical law of cause and effect. This is what Albert Einstein said. And the Buddha said the same thing, that everything, all the composite phenomena, they exist, but depends on the early causes. Ye dharma hetu prabhava. All these phenomena, they arise from the causes. So from there, there's no room for accepting the independent entity there who decides everything for us. It's your own karma, it's your own previous causes. So one time, when I was in my 20s, perhaps late 20s, a question came to me that I was in South India. Oh, how many been to South India since? Karnataka State. Okay, good. In the monastery, many of you met my own teacher, who is now 93 years old. So then what happened was that I was very fascinated by two things. One was that in the month of like end of March, there was a little rain. And the little rain, I was listening to the farmers, and the farmers, okay, now it's time to soften the ground. They go into the ground, little rain for just 1 or 2 days, and then they go to soften the solid the mud. They just break them. Then after that, again there's a few days gap. Again there's a shower. So that shower is to plant the seeds. And after the shower, again it stops, and you go to plant the seeds. Then after that, again few days, then the whatever you planted, if you want to replace it, where, and then remove the weeds. Then full 2 or 3 weeks of shower. There is for the crops to grow. Then when the crops grow so well, then the shower stops because the people have to harvest. Wow, it's amazing. Who is deciding the rain should fall and then stop so that they will do this? Who is deciding? I was extremely curious. Late 20s, already studying philosophy, logic, psychology. Who's decided all these things? So then I thought that is either God, there should be some agent there deciding for us. So the mother decides. Mother and father decides for the child. You go to school, in school this will happen, this payment, or you don't do anything. The parents already did everything for you. And you go to school, and it's as though like the school is doing everything free for you. No. The money, this, that, everything that the parents already set for you. Like this, either there's a God there, or it is your karma. These two things. There is no other third part. Amazing. And with the God, it's so lucky that I already learned the philosophical logic debates. So there are so many contradictions to accept the concept of God. There are so many contradictions. So this contradiction, I was again extremely fascinated reading some of the writings of the people in the West, particularly the Christian fathers, Christian priests. They were exploring the concept of the free will. So they say that if there's a free will, then what is the role of the God? If there's a God, how can there be free will? Huge debates were going there. And because of this, many of the Christian fathers, they were put to penalty. They were kicked out because they're going against the theology. So all these very rigorous debates were happening. I thought that, okay, these debates are only happening in India, not in the West. Everything is just believe, oh, there's a creator God, we cannot ask question. But they was actually questioned by the Christian fathers. You Google search, you will find all these debates about the free will. So with the free will, then the concept of God becomes very complicated. And then with the free will, even the concept of karma, if you cannot give the answer properly, the concept of karma is not too well formulated, then you will see that you may quickly end up into contradiction, free will and karma. Okay, so these are things that are there. So therefore the question is that who is creating all these things? This is one thing. Then another thing which really struck me to awe was, it's amazing. So one time I just took for granted I'm getting water, shower, and then suddenly I came to learn that ground water level is going down. And then many of the water pumps, they're drying up. And then the fear came. So our water source dries up, finish. So the fear came. And then this thought came, very strange. This thought came. Thought that, wow, it's amazing. Again, who is doing that? Say, all this water, generally speaking, all this water come from the snow mountains. The snow mountain. From the snow mountain, glaciers. From the glaciers, the water melt and the water flows as a river. So those people who close by the rivers, they can get the water from there. And then going down, if the river flows for too long, the river get dried up because of the sun. So it goes under the ground, so that people in the plains, they can still get the water underground, so it will not be evaporated. Wow, this is amazing. And you go down in the plain, you don't get the water directly from Mount Kailash or the Mount Everest, so forth, but you just dig it and get the water from there. So because the water, somebody put it down, so that you get the water, it not evaporate on the way. Wow. And then what happens? All this water, what happens? They'll go to the ocean. And then from the ocean, again, somebody evaporates them, put them in the sky. In the form of cloud. And the cloud throws this in the mountain. mountain which is the highest point. So there, and then it throws water there in the form of snow. If it's thrown in the water, it'll just go wash away everything, finish in the form of snow, so that water reservoir is there. That's amazing. And the water melts slowly so that you can have a constant flow of the water. Wow, it's amazing. Who's doing all this? These were the questions that came to me. It's amazing. So if either for me, it's you contemplate on this, many of these things, and then also how our body works is amazing. It's amazing. In school, I learned that say if there's a cut, blood comes out. And if the blood does not clot, we'll die, because blood continues to come out and finish. 4 liters of blood within the body will die. So that it has to clot. It'll clot so that it blocks the flow of the water going out. If it clots inside, again you'll die. Amazing. I was so fascinated how. And then one part of the brain is damaged. Other part of the brain takes the responsibility with that. For example, if someone is not there, somebody else will take over the responsibility to make sure that it flows. Wow, who's doing that? How does this part of the brain know that that part of the brain is damaged and have to take over? This is amazing. Then the more you contemplate on this, then yes, of course. So we're going to study here how if you believe in some external agent, and then who decides the external agent? All this question comes. Then is the karma. Karma is your own actions. Your own actions. Your own action decides. Say the unicellular organism. Very simple organism. Very simple. Just one cell. That's it. How many atoms are there? How many molecules are there? This on the cellular level, it's just one cell. You see, it's just like this. Then they take the food and whatever nutrition required, take, and what is not required, throw. That's it, just like this, like a gel. Finished. But our body is very sophisticated. From that unicellular organism to the very sophisticated body, how it developed to that extent. And physics talks about what is known as the entropy. Entropy meaning that the disorderliness keep increasing. But here the orderliness is increasing. That's amazing. You're getting it? So from unicellular organism, from there till today, the human body, the orderliness is increasing. Amazing increasing. It's not the disorderliness is increasing. Again, who's doing that? So for this, then we see that is own karma. One's own karma. And then your karma is so important. Who does this karma? We do the karma. So we are responsible for our own karma. We are responsible for who we are. So therefore, these are things that we really need to contemplate. Because of this, the Buddha emphasizes so much on and establishing the ontological reality. Meaning, what is reality there? Remove your biases. Remove your the speculation. Remove your projections. Simply focus on what the reality is. By remove all the biases. So this is where the ontology, where the Buddhist philosophy and the Western science meet. The methodology, how you inquire the reality purely through reasoning and without any the supposition or your dogma imposed on the ontology. This is something so precious. And then you go deeper, analyze all these contemplations will not come to us just in like a few months or 1 year, 2 years. It'll take time. The more you think about this, then the more you see that you are responsible for your own situations, your karma. And what is the karma? Karma is nothing but the mental action. What is the mental action? Who decides mental action? Your emotions decide. And who decides the emotions? The inappropriate attention. And who decides inappropriate attention? Self-grasping ignorance complemented by self-centered attitude. Then you see that the whole world, how the whole world operates based on my own two things, self-grasping and self-centered attitude. Replace self-grasping ignorance with the wisdom. Replace self-centered attitude with the compassion, universal compassion. The world that you're going to experience could be very different, but divine world. Okay, so with this in mind, let us turn to a page. Okay, the first page, a second segment which reads, just as the blessed Buddhas and the great Bodhisattvas have generated the amount of great awakening. So the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they have generated this great awakening, meaning, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Bodhicitta. Just as they have generated the Bodhicitta, I too shall from now until I arrive at the heart of awakening meaning Buddhahood. Till when I reach the heart of awakening, which is Buddhahood, till that point, I will generate the awakening mind. I also generate the bodhicitta. You're getting it? Till I attain Buddhahood, I will generate bodhicitta. Because bodhicitta is, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. This aspiration. When this aspiration dies, finish, your journey will stop. So therefore, this aspiration is so important. And His Holiness the Dalai Lama, I used to be really, really amazed by His Holiness's experiential level, that at one point, maybe perhaps like 30 years ago, for His Holiness, you say, he reads Bodhicitta, instantly he runs into tears. So this is where somebody practiced the bodhicitta. You could really feel that this bodhicitta is the ultimate source of benefit for everyone. The way, the manner in which Bodhisattva Shantideva taught that this is the sun to remove the misty ignorance. This is the moon which heals the pangs of the sentient beings. This is the great path where all the bodhisattvas they traverse to get to full enlightenment. All these benefits were indicated. So this bodhicitta is amazingly courageous, and to make sure that finally it's not the rules, regulations, it is the benefit that counts. What I'm doing, no matter what happens to me, but the benefit for the sentient beings should be there. Somebody should be benefited. Somebody should not suffer unnecessarily. So this is the courage of the Bodhisattva. Courage, skillfulness, no expectation return. And then meanwhile, the expansiveness of your heart, the ease that you feel, others will not feel. And others may feel that you are sacrificing. Oh, he's sacrificing a lot, she's sacrificing a lot. Actually, those who are not sacrificing, the feel of the joy, whatever, when compared with that of the Bodhisattvas, the feel of joy is very different. So this is what each one of us, we can experience that. We have that capacity, we have the Buddha nature. So just try this and see how the kind of the potential that your heart has. So for example, say that, okay, let's say this fan, I put in a picture, and the light, I put in a picture, and in dark, I remove the two pictures. So when the pictures is put upside down on the light and on the fan, on this fan, what you will see in dark, you will not see anything. And then you remove the two pictures. We say this is the fan in room B and the light in room A. I removed both the pictures. Which of the two will shine? The one in room A will shine, because what is inside the picture A has the capacity to shine. What is in picture B does not have the capacity to shine. It will remain as it is. And we are not like the fan. We are like the light. Once the picture of the mental departments are removed, your light inside will shine. The ease will come to us. And this is amazing. So the thing in our life, just see, okay, but this practice, that high level practice, tantra, so forth. Okay, first thing is just see if you are becoming more compassionate. Just see if you become more resilient. A sense of resilience becomes stronger, and your compassion increases, your common sense increases. You become somebody who can manage things very easily. You can manage things very easily. Where, so things are very complicated, you can solve the complication, you can resolve the complication based on the compassion. Do you see your compassion is increasing? See the people who are around you, they're benefited. See more and more people have benefited. If this is happening, you are in a proper way to awaken your Buddha nature, the treasure, hidden treasure inside. Okay, so for that matter, this may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. The bodhicitta is so precious, and if you can practice it on a daily basis, then you see that over time, you see that over time, meaning don't expect like in few weeks or few months. So even for that girl, for that lady, who's that 2 years of Acharya Chandrakirti's text study, are you? What is this? Are you? What did I say? You choose 2-year are you or lifelong are you? You're getting it? So therefore, the thing is, if you don't practice these things, then we have to continue to shed tears, Okay. So text reads, just as the blessed Buddhas and the great Bodhisattvas have generated the mind of great awakening, meaning they have generated the bodhicitta, I too shall from now until I arrive at the heart of awakening, until I arrived at the Buddhahood. Heart of awakening is the Buddhahood. I too will generate the awakening mind. I too will generate the bodhicitta, in order that I may save those who are not saved. Okay, so there are several the understanding or several interpretations of this explanation of this. So I remember His Holiness the Dalai Lama, quoting, so one the Indian source and one the Lama Tsongkhapa source. So where I'll just relate it with respect to earlier thought of some other interpretations. Later, His Holiness is quoting Lama Tsongkhapa, where it's slightly different from what I explained to Chechen Bai and Ladunla. So here, there are 4 things related. So in order that I may save those who are not saved, number 1. I may free those who are not free, number 2. I may relieve those who are not relieved, number 4. And help thoroughly transcend sorrow those who have not thoroughly transcended sorrow. There are 4 things. There are 4. And to these 4, His Holiness quoted Lama Tsongkhapa saying that these 4 are applied with respect to the 4 noble truths. 4 noble truths. That's very beautiful. It never came to mind before. So what is it? I may save those who are not saved. I may save those who are not freed from the truth of suffering. I may save those who are not saved from the truth of suffering, number 1. And 2, I may free those who are not freed from the truth of the cause of suffering. I may free those who are not freed from the truth of cause of suffering. Then the third one is not the cessation, but the path. I relieve those who are not relieved. So I relieve the beings by sharing them the path leading to the cessation. Path leading to the cessation suffering. Relieve those who are not relieved by showing them the path leading to the cessation. And then help thoroughly transcend sorrow. That is I will help the beings to lead to this state of cessation. Help thoroughly transcend sorrow. Transcend sorrow is what? Cessation of suffering. To transcend sorrow, to attain the state of cessation of suffering, that is truth number 3. Those who have not thoroughly transcended sorrow. So this is how His Holiness the Dalai Lama explained. Okay, so the point is that making this may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. So these 4 things are to be remembered, and also that for you, the another version of this interpretation is that number 1, that I may save those who are not saved, saying that I may save those who are suffering in the lower realms, be saved to the higher realms, from the lower realms to the higher realms. Number 1. Okay, this is different interpretation, but our job is to to increase the strength of the courage of the sense of taking the responsibility of the beings. Number one, I may save those who are not saved. I may save those who are in the low realms to the safe place of the high realms. Number one, I may free those who are not freed. I may free those who are not freed from samsara to nirvana. Number two. Okay, let me say this once more. What is the first one? I may save those who are in the lower realms to the state of high realms. Number one. Number two, I may free those who are not free from samsara. I may free those in samsara. Samsara in the human realms, in the god and goddess realm. They're in the higher realms. But they're still in samsara. So from that, upgrade to the nirvana state, number two. And number three, relieve those who are not relieved. Number three, so those who are not fully awakened, fully enlightened, those who are not fully, meaning those who are in nirvana, take them to a state of full enlightenment. Okay, number one, what is that? From the lower realms to the higher realm, number one. Next, from the higher realm to the nirvana, number two. Then from nirvana to Buddhahood. So nirvana, there are two kinds. One is the partial nirvana and the other one is full nirvana. So full nirvana is Buddhahood, from the partial nirvana to Buddhahood. Then the last one, help thoroughly transcend sorrow, those who have not thoroughly transcended sorrow. So that is, say, one interpretation which I heard before is that this is related to Tantra. So when you speak about Buddhahood, is to remove the mental defilements, afflictive and cognitive obscurations. Removing the mental defilements can happen on two levels, gross mind and a subtle mind. So where in the sutra system, it doesn't teach you, okay, so some are seeing the enlightened masters there, right? Okay, in the sutra system, okay, this is very important. So how many of you have heard about Tantra reasons? Okay, I don't mean to demean Tantra. Tantra is so extremely precious, but how many of you have how many are from the medical side? Ajikesala, a lady there, what's your name? Siniam. Okay, Siniam, Ajikesala, anyone from medical? From medical? Okay. So and even those not from medical, you know that. Let's say in the medicine, bottles, you see there is a caption written, keep out of keep out of reach of children. You're getting it? So Tantra belongs to this category. You're getting it? Keep out of reach of children. You're getting it? So we're all like small children. And then we say that, oh, Tantra, we're very fortunate. What do you do? Sutra. You will never finish. You're getting it? Study. What? Study, practice. Tantra. Right? Children getting the bottle, keep reach out of children and saying that this is very precious. Because the children don't know what's happening and we're like we are having it. Okay, so what is real Tantra is nothing to do with what you see as, okay, mantra recitation, I'm doing something, and so forth. No, this is not Tantra. Real Tantra is the first thing that I would say is how much you can control your attachment, how much you can control your anger. If you cannot control your attachment, anger, you are a small child, keep out of reach of children. You're getting it? If you cannot control, for example, then if I'm not too presumptuous, how many you can decide your dream? How many you can really take advantage of the dream to practice in the dream? Okay, I'm so lucky. In the daytime, I'm very disturbed. I have so many work here and there. But when I sleep, 8 hours, 6 hours, I have time for my practice, sleep. And then you start, in the dream, you start practicing. How many you can manage this mind? If you cannot manage this mind, if it goes so ordinary state, you are a small child, keep out of children. You're getting it? So this is a problem. So we should be extremely, extremely, extremely careful Simply because the propaganda says that, oh, Tantra, right? Oh, so we are higher. I actually heard some people who actually, who are into this. So Tantra, oh, we are the higher, actually somebody who spent years in solitude practice. They said, oh, what we are doing is higher, and what they in the monastery, what they are doing is lower. We belong to this tradition of the higher. Sense of ego. Sense of ego is not disrupted. Ego is building up. So these are the problems. Ignorance is bliss. You're getting it? So therefore, let us try best to make sure that in this life, in the future lifetimes, we don't fall prey to the ignorance bliss. This is so important for us. Okay, so what is real Tantra? Is where you can, first of all, the first criteria is that which the ordinary people, you should be able to do what the ordinary people cannot do. For example, cheesecake. Then how your mind reacts. Momos. What is it? Hey, the Lotus Lake. What is your favorite cafe? Lavender. Lavender, right? And then okay, so then Lotus Lake. Not ready for that. Lavender, you're getting it? Okay, Lotus is very special, I know. And so what I'm saying is that just see how your mind reacts. If your mind, if you cannot really, for example, you will not get, say, the good food for the next 1 week. And then why not? If that happens, finish. We are so small. You're getting it? This is where we should be really careful. Let us not fool ourselves. Let us not fool ourselves. So make sure that we grow in your thinking. So otherwise, why it is known as the secret Vajrayana? Why? Why the label secret is given? Keep out of reach of children. Why keep out of reach of children? Why? Because children are not mature. The secret why? All the people, 99% of the people, they are small children. Keep these things secret from these children-like people. So this is the message. So therefore, but we have to know what the real Tantra is, but we may not touch it. We have to know these things, the real Tantra, not just the superficial Tantra. Superficial, Okay. Real Tantra is where, say, your mind is amazing. Your mind, has various levels. Gross mind, subtle mind, and the subtlest mind. So mind is various levels. And if you train your mind on the gross level, then gradually you can touch the subtler one. It's amazing. If you touch the subtler, then you can go even this more subtle. Then go the subtlest. When you're able to touch the subtlest mind through the training in the grosser levels, then the mind has incredible power. For example, Juzumilarepa, who is so well trained, is amazing. Say he's totally out of attachment to the worldly attachment, totally cut off. Totally cut off. So he returned to his homeland. And then you have to read the story. This biography is available in English, also Russian, hopefully. Not yet? Yes? Okay, you must read that biography. Extremely impressive. When I was younger, the first half of the biography is very interesting. When I was older, the second half is more interesting because second half is about the teachings. First half is about, what he did, did that, uncle, relationship, mother, his, and so forth. So there, he was in the mountain meditating, returned, and then all his properties, his father was a very rich man. All the properties were captured by his uncle, the father's brother, and the father's sister, captured by them, not given to but kicked out. Just murdered by his mother and his sister, three of them kicked out. And finally, his mind changed and he went into spirituality. Upon return, then he saw that his house, which was otherwise once upon a time the blazing, the elegant house, which just became a ruin. And then he met a young shepherd and asked the shepherd boy, and who lives there in this house? He was asking what was it, because he was not in the town for many years. And the shepherd said, oh, once there was a boy by the name Tubaka. Tubaka means just Milarepas, the layperson's name, ordinary person's name. Tubaka, and he became a black magician, and then he left, his mother died, everything died. So this is the place there. And then nobody dares to go there, because this is the owner of this house, this young man. He's a black magician. They cast black magic on you and you'll die. So nobody dares to go there. But you look like a saint. You look like a saint practitioner. And if you go down, then you will see one book, scripture. Where? No, a scripture. So you will find one, the poti, the scripture. These were so rare things in the olden times. So if you go there, you can, this available there. So you can get it. And of course, he knows that he's the one. He's the owner. And then finally, he got down. He went into the house, and the house just gone into broken everywhere. And then he said, okay, these are the messages so precious for us, for you, for me, all of us. What is that? When the house is there, the owner is not. The owner has left. When the owner came, the house is broken. Even if the owner of the house and the house owner, both were together, there's no purpose and meaning. Better it is for me to live for Dharma practice. Then he saw the mother's skeleton lying there. It was a mother's skeleton because his sister already left to go around begging. And the mother died inside this, nobody taking care of, just saw the skeleton. So he said that when the mother was here, the son was gone. When the son came, the mother was gone. Even if the mother and son were to be together, what's the purpose? Just to see the face. Other than that, what can we do? Better it is for me to lead this into solitude practice to awaken your Buddha nature. Then he saw this poti, the text, the scriptural text, the big one, and it was with the water dripping, and it damaged the text. Then he said, when the scriptural text is here, the owner is gone. When the owner comes, scriptural text is damaged. Even if the two meet together, there's no purpose and meaning. Better it is for me to go into the solitude to practice Dhamma, to awaken my Buddha nature. So finally, then he picked up the mother's bones, and also picked up the scripture and went out, and he saw one, the man there, and it was his childhood friend. So he identified that, and who used to do some kind of ritual practices. So Jesus Milarepa asked this man, there was a tradition that when somebody dies, the remains were mixed with the mud, and then create the Buddha statues made of clay in order to connect the deceased with the Bodhisattvas. So Jesus Milarepa asked this gentleman, if you can do that, if you do that as a salary, I'll give you this poti for you, this text for you. And then Jesus Milarepa left. So this is where what I'm saying is that these are the indications of his realization. Then once he was there, his aunt, who captured the property of his father, and she heard about Jesus Milarepa. Now the owner came. This owner can claim the father's property, and the aunt went there and talked so nicely, said that, oh, you are my nephew, you now have become a very realized being, and for such a yogi, you don't need the properties. Tell everybody that this property belongs to your aunt. You all will be happy, although aunt does not need it. Aunt does not need it, but aunt will be very happy. Before she dies, I'll be very happy if you say this to everybody. Jesus Milarepa says, I don't care about my property, you take it. If this is who we are, we have no desire for the sensual, the possessions, you are prepared for the Tantra practice. If this is not there, desire for sensual pleasures all there, not ready for Tantra at all. One. So where you are able to control the gross level of the mind, then you touch the subtle level of the mind. When you control the gross level of the mind, attachment, anger, jealousy, competition, all these things controlled, full control, then you can go into the subtle mind. When you go into subtle mind, then really the miracles can be created. For example, there was one teacher who was very jealous of Geshe Dorji's fame and popularity. So this teacher came, and to cut the story short, this teacher was very competitive, and this teacher, just to embarrass Geshe Dorji, to prove that he's a fraud. So this teacher said, "Oh, Geshe Dorji, I heard that you have a tremendous power, miracle power, and you are sick now." At one point, Geshe Dorji was sick, and why? Okay, no time to share. So Geshe Dorji was sick. And then this teacher came, Geshe Dorji, you are sick, you should not be sick, you are an amazing enlightened person, so many people can be benefited with your presence. Please transfer your sickness, your illness upon me. You have that power, please transfer that. Geshe Dorji said, no, I'll not transfer it on you, you cannot bear it. Then so anybody can say that. Anybody can say that you cannot bear it, as though you have the power. And then he was very happy. That other teacher was very happy. So no. So please transfer. You are enlightened one. You can bear. Please transfer. And Geshe Dorji said that, okay, now I'm not going to transfer my illness on you. I'm going to transfer my illness to the tree. Right? A part of it to the tree. And then he gestures his finger to the tree, and the tree just broke into pieces. And then still this teacher is not convinced, because this can be magical illusion. So no, any magician can do that. Please transfer on me. Then he just said, are you serious? Then he said, yes, sir, because he doesn't believe that Geshe Dorji had that power. Then he said, okay, I'll do one thing. I'll not transfer everything. I'll transfer just one fraction of what I'm going through. And he just has his finger on him. Then he was just rolling here, that, please take it away, take it away. So these are things where you truly are the practitioner of Tantra. So till that point, let us not fool ourselves. Keep in mind, keep out of reach of children. Know what Tantra is. Know the psychophysical, the complexities and the operation of these. Learn these things. Learn these things, but don't really touch that and say that. And somebody... Okay, I don't want to go too much. Okay, so reading the text, the next paragraph. Those bodhisattvas who practice by means of the secret mantra, meaning Tantra, Mantrayana, Tantrayana, Vajrayana, they all mean the same. The secret, so secret meaning to maintain confidential from the ordinary people. Secret mantra, after having generated the awakening mind in terms of conventional aspect in the form of aspiration. So conventional aspect meaning conventional bodhicitta. We discussed this morning. Conventional bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. So once you have taken the conventional bodhicitta, may I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, in the form of aspiration. In the form of aspiration, we talked about the bodhicitta, aspiration bodhicitta, and the engaged bodhicitta. This is one thing. And bodhicitta overall, conventional bodhicitta overall is in the form of aspiration. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. So here the aspiration is more with respect to the, say, nature of the bodhicitta, that may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, rather than the aspiration bodhicitta. You're getting it? So the same word, they can refer to the different meanings. So, in the form of aspiration, these beings who have actually generated bodhicitta, must then produce the ultimate awakened mind. What is awakened mind? Awakened mind is the bodhicitta. You're getting it? Awakened mind is the bodhicitta. That ultimate bodhicitta. You're getting it? So, who generated the conventional bodhicitta, you must go to practice the ultimate bodhicitta. Okay. So these are texts. If you and I, if we are really exposed to the standard text, there's no danger that we can fall into the wrong paths, wrong hands. So look at these. It's taught by Nagarjuna. So, those bodhisattvas who practice by means of the secret mantra, after having generated the awakening mind in terms of its conventional aspect, in the form of an aspiration, may I become Buddha, aspiration in the form of may I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, what should they do? What should they do? They have to practice the ultimate bodhicitta, ultimate awakening mind. Awakening mind, just underline this and write it, bodhicitta, because that later on you may get confused. Awakening Buddha, what is it? It simply means the ultimate bodhicitta. Okay, if you remember Heart Sutra, in the mornings when we recite Heart Sutra, I said that there are three things not to miss when we recite Heart Sutra. What are the three things? Hey, this girl, what's the first? Yes.
What question did Shariputra ask Arya?
Amazing. What was the question asked by Shariputra to Aravalogateshvara? Number one. What is number two?
What did Arya say?
Okay, what response Aravalogateshvara gave to the question asked by Shariputra? Number two. That's number three. What is the benefit rather than how? What benefit we get if we practice the way Aravalogateshvara taught in the form of response to the question asked by Shariputra? 3. Okay, anyone? What is number 2? What is the response given by Aravalogateshvara? Okay, number 1 was the question asked by Shariputra to Aravalogateshvara. Anyone? Prag? What is the question asked by Shariputra to Aravalogateshvara? Anyone? Okay, there. How should the child of the lineage? Yes, what is that correct? So how should the child of the lineage practice the perfection of wisdom? You're getting it? So in the child, you can include sons and daughters both. Okay. So how should the child of the lineage? What is the child of the lineage? Okay, now you should answer. What is meant by child of lineage? Raise hands. Raise your hands. Dasana?
Buddha's lineage.
Buddha's lineage. What do you mean by Buddha's lineage? What does mean by the holder of the Buddha's lineage? Anyone? Huh? Okay, Shakya. We are not. Right? Shakya people. Okay, anyone else? Here. Or those who follow the Buddha's teaching and to attain personal nirvana, walk on the path to attain personal nirvana.
No. For the enlightenment of all sentient beings.
I see. That is added. Okay. So those who said, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Aruna, yes? Say it again. Mike.
Those who have decided to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, those are the child of the lineage.
Okay, so those are the children of the lineage, right? Okay, very good. So those people, those who said, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, what should they practice? Don't forget it. In Heart Sutra, now see. In Heart Sutra, how should the child of the lineage practice the perfection of wisdom? Two things. Now here also, those who already generated the expression, the conventional bodhicitta, they should practice the ultimate bodhicitta. You getting it? So they come to the same point. You getting it? So this is where, if you really learn the Dharma so well, based on very standard texts, you see that everything is within your own hands. Okay, so it says that the must then produce those bodhisattvas who practice by means of the secret mantra after having generated the awakened mind in terms of its conventional aspect. What is that? Awakened mind in terms of the conventional aspect. What is that? Conventional bodhicitta. Once you have generated conventional bodhicitta, then you must then produce the ultimate awakened mind, ultimate bodhicitta, right? Which is the, hey, what is the ultimate bodhicitta? Anyone? Wisdom of emptiness. Anyone else? Wisdom of emptiness. Anyone else? Who likes to really make me happy because it's after lunch? The girl there, Lucky.
Wisdom of
Mike.
Yeah.
Lucky.
A wisdom of Mahayana Arya being which directly realizes emptiness.
Okay, very good. It made my day. If there's somebody who can make my day, like you made my day, right? If there's somebody who can make my day, anyone? Okay, what she said, okay, here. Mike. Good.
Это постижение бодхичитты прямым опытом.
It's obtaining bodhicitta through the direct experience.
Okay, it made my day. Anyone else? Okay, the Tsengla. The mic goes down. Tsengla and the next girl. First Tsengla.
Ultimate bodhicitta wisdom of the Prasangika Mahayana Arya being who directly realize emptiness.
Okay, it made my day. You know why I'm saying this? Okay, all the answers are correct. Still, I'm saying it made my day. The girl over there next. Yes.
Стать Буддой на благо всех существ.
I don't understand, and I don't understand Russian. Still, it made my day. Anyone? Okay, Pema. No. Okay, Prague. Mike. Prague. Mike there. Mike should go there. Okay, you should understand what I say, the clue that I gave you, right? I don't understand Russian.
I think this is like highest level of compassion and highest level of wisdom.
Okay. Anyone else who would make my day? Okay, yes, Chandla. In Chandla, Mike. What do you understand by ultimate bodhicitta? Huh?
Can you tell the question?
My question is, what does it mean by ultimate bodhicitta?
It means that Bodhicitta, ultimate Bodhicitta means happy Bodhicitta.
Oh, that's amazing. It's a happy bodhicitta where the Buddha nature is awakened. And it makes you so happy. There's happy bodhicitta. Amazing. Thank you, Chandla. Okay, Brinslav. Chandla, give the mic to Brinslav. Yes. Thank you, Chandla. Amazing answer. Thank you.
It is wisdom of the Mahayana Arya beings who have directly realized emptiness of objective existence, inherent existence, intrinsic existence, or self-characteristics.
Say it again. You are about to make me happy. Make my day. Say it again.
Bodhicitta is the wisdom of the Mahayana Arya beings who have directly realized emptiness of objective, intrinsic, inherent, or self-characteristic.
Okay, Prince of made a day, right? He made our day. Right? Thank you so much. Thank you. So why I'm checking is that if you are saying that without looking at the note, you're getting it? And he said it without looking at the notes. Others, I can see that you're looking at this is, but the notes are very precious. It doesn't mean that don't look at the notes. Notes are very precious. Good. Okay. So it is the wisdom of emptiness and the highest level of wisdom of emptiness, which is the Mahayana Arya being's wisdom, which directly realizes emptiness. That is the ultimate bodhicitta. So it says, produce the ultimate awakening mind through the force of meditative practice. I shall therefore explain its nature. What constitutes the ultimate bodhicitta? This is what Arya Nagarjuna said. He's going to explain. Bowing to the glorious Vajra holder. Vajra holder is the Buddha in the context of the Tantra system. Vajra is so precious. Vajra, in a loose sense, in a literal sense, it is the indestructibility. Okay, so the same, we have the bodhicitta, we have the conventional bodhicitta, ultimate bodhicitta. And so these two things in the sutra system, in loose, better I would put it like this. Say that for a car to drive the car, minimum we do two things. One, the steering should be perfect. You agree? Steering should work so well. And next, it should also have the fuel. So the steering is metaphor for the wisdom. And the fuel is metaphor for what is known as the energy. So we have the body and the mind. And the body goes there, and the mind directs. Where to go. So the body and the mind, in the sutra system, these two are treated as two distinct entities. Because in sutra system, it only talks about the gross level. It doesn't explain the subtle one. On the gross level, the body and mind, these two are two distinct entities. Whereas on the subtle level, the body and the mind, these two are the same entity. In the sutra system, the body and mind, these two are seen as two distinct entities. For example, so when we die, our body is left behind and the mind travels. So these two are two distinct things. And in Tantra system, which means not only the gross, but on the subtle level, the mind and the body, these two are the same entity. Wherever the body travels, mind goes. Wherever the mind travels, the body. But the subtle one, not the gross one. The body that we have now, which is visible, this is the gross one. In Tantra explains the gross as well as the subtle. The subtle one is such that subtle mind and subtle energy, these two are the same entity. It is like, let's say, what? It is like, let's say, like the flower and the shape of the flower. Flower and where the flower goes, the shape of the flower also goes. Yes? Where the shape of the flower goes, the flower also goes. These two are always same. Not identically one, but these two are the same nature. So likewise, on the subtle level, the body and the mind, body, which is more described as energy of the mind, the subtle energy and the subtle mind, these two are of the same nature. So direction is given by the mind, and the movement is by the energy. You're getting this movement. For example, okay, look, this is moving. Why this is moving? And Brinislav and Jigmela, above you, something's moving. What is that? So why is moving? Wind is moving. Is there a stopper? No stopper? Is there a stopper? No stopper? Oh. Okay, so if you inform this to Chulan Sawanla, Ken Sawanla, Kish Sawanla, he will instantly do it. He's a very practical person. Okay, so why is this moving? Why? Due to wind. We don't see the wind. But the wind is there. You're getting it? So that is the energy. So energy is required for the movement to take place. So for the mind to move from one place to another, for example, we die here, right? Somebody dies here and take birth in where? Jigmela. If you die here, where do you want to take birth? Tushita heaven, no. Then see, let's see. I'm too young, too strong now at the moment. Okay. So, say somebody dies here and going to take birth somewhere, wherever, in Delhi or in Japan or in Tushita or wherever. So there, the mind has to travel. The mind has to travel. So which travel means movement, yes? Movement. That movement is done by the energy. Energy is the physical. Energy is the body. Body doesn't mean physical body, gross body like this. So the movement is done by the energy and the direction is given by the mind. This is the explanation that you find in the Tantra, Buddhist Tantra, and you don't find it in the Sutra system. You're getting it? So these are the things we have to learn. These are things that we have to learn when you learn Tantra. It's not just, what Tantra means and you can do anything. There's no Tantra. So managing the subtle body and subtle mind. Okay, with this in mind, okay, why I'm saying this? Okay, Vajra. I'm explaining the Vajra. Vajra is known as the indestructible. So here, the body and the mind, subtle body and subtle mind, subtle body in the form of, okay, I would say the virtuous subtle body and the virtuous subtle mind. I would put it like this. I don't want to go into depth. I'm not supposed to be talking about these. So I'll just keep a little vague. Say the virtuous subtle mind and virtuous subtle body. These two things, the union of these two things is what you train in the Tantric system. The union of that. And these two are seen as union. And this union cannot be destroyed by anyone, indestructible. This union cannot be destroyed by anyone. Nobody can separate these two things. Say the virtuous mind and virtuous subtle energy. These two cannot be separate. This is known as the indestructible. Vajra holder, meaning somebody who has reached to the level of unfolding this reality. The union of the subtle energy and the subtle mind, who has gained expertise, who has gained proficiency in managing the subtle mind and subtle energy. That's known as the Vajra holder. Who are they? All the Buddhas. Okay. Bowing to the glorious Vajra holder, meaning somebody who has perfected in managing the gross mind and the subtle mind, subtle energy, the non-duality, who embodies the awakening mind. Those beings who embodies. Now with the Bodhicitta, I shall explain here the Bodhisattva practice of awakening mind that destroys. Okay, I explained here the meditative practice of the awakening mind. Here the meditative practice of awakening mind refers to the ultimate bodhicitta. So what destroys your cyclic existence? Here, mind that destroys cyclic existence. What destroys cyclic existence? Hey, what destroys cyclic existence? Where is the moment destroys cyclic? How? By transcending. How? How does the wisdom of emptiness? How does the wisdom of emptiness destroy cyclic existence? There, your name? Terry. Yes, Terry. By cutting the root. By cutting root of the ignorance. Where's the ignorance? We go to lay. Yes. Ignorance which clouds our Buddha nature, which obscures our Buddha nature. Cut this ignorance. So how the wisdom of emptiness helps to destroy the cyclic existence is, what is cyclic existence? Cyclic existence is when the Buddha nature is clouded by anyone who likes to make me happy, who likes to make my day. Hey, samsara is when our Buddha nature is clouded by somebody who can make me who would really make my day. Gentlemen here?
It cuts screen towards it.
Yes, good. Anyone who would make me very happy? That lady over there?
By cognitive experience and cognitive experience.
Self-grasping attitude and self-centered grasping.
Very good, very good. Anyone who wants to make me say, very good.
Advantageous stance.
Very good. Sonamla, I wish you said half. You add more and then you said half. I was, wow. And suddenly you add more, then, okay, good. I was, some people say, what is that? Celebrating too early. I was about to celebrate. Wow, suddenly you add the next word added, and over there.
Speaking of karma and addiction, leads to nirvana. So karma and addiction.
Very good. Very good. Anybody else?
Себелюбивый настрой. Self-cherishing attitude.
Okay. Cyclic existence. What you said is not wrong, but we're precisely talking about the cyclic existence. Anyone? Wow, 100% correct. Very good. Say, cyclic existence is, what is cyclic existence? Let's say loss of freedom and so forth, but very precisely, technically speaking, when your Buddha nature is clouded by afflictive obscurations, that is cyclic existence. You in a state where your Buddha nature is clouded by the afflictive obscurations, this is cyclic existence. So if you overcome cyclic existence, you can still have cognitive obscurations. Can you give an example of anybody who has overcome the cyclic existence, still having cognitive obscurations? Arahats, yes, you are right. Arahats, they Buddha nature, from there, the afflictive obscurations are removed. So therefore, cyclic existence is gone. But they still have the cognitive obscurations. So therefore, they are not fully enlightened. They still have the self-centered attitude. You getting it? Okay, very good. So now things become very clear to us. What is cyclic existence? When a state of the person's being, when the Buddha nature is clouded by afflictive obscurations, that is known as cyclic existence, samsara. In other words, you don't have the freedom, the lack of freedom. Okay. So it says, yes.
I didn't understand that number 4 when you said help thoroughly to transcend sorrow, those who are not thoroughly transcended sorrow. The Tantra implications to remove objective obscurations and objective obscurations of the next settlement.
Exactly. So they say this, there are two different levels of translation, different kinds of translation. One is with the fourth one is, but the third one is the third one, the wording is relieve those who are not relieved. Relieve those who have attained nirvana to the full enlightenment. Then there's the last one, those who and help thoroughly transcend sorrow, those whose subtle mind, those whose the subtle mind is not freed from the afflictive and particularly cognitive obscurations, to the state of the subtle mind being cleared for all the mental defilements. So this is a uniqueness of Tantra, where you remove the cognitive obscurations from the subtle mind. Okay, good. The girl here, you have a question?
I wanted to ask, how is the Buddha embodying the awakening mind, because he's the fully awakened one?
That's good. Wait a second. Please show that to me.
Bowing to the glorious Vajra holder who embodies the awakening mind.
Bowing to the glorious Vajra holder who embodies the awakening mind. You say embodies, meaning, for example, let's say that I want to become, should I say this? IAS officer, right? So struggling with UPSC, struggling with UPSC, and finally I'm chosen as the IFS officer. I've embodied my aspiration to become IAS officer, meaning I've accomplished. Yeah, very good question. In fact, to be very honest, your question is greatly debated. You're getting it? Greatly debated it's a debate, big debate in the monastic universities whether the Buddhas have bodhicitta or not. Bodhicitta is, may I become Buddha. They already become Buddha, right? But many texts says that the Buddhas should have bodhicitta. So your question is, this is a debate. It's a very serious debate. I mentioned this just to tell all of us that this is not this small question. It's a big question. And you go to Geshe Tsonla. Buddha said bodhicitta, right? Because the text says this. Are you good? Okay, good. Next, the Buddhas maintained the awakened mind to be not obscured by such conceptions of consciousness of self, aggregates, and so on. It is always characterized by emptiness. Okay, so this is now is extremely profound. Okay, we require background information. Okay, let's say the Buddha maintains awakened mind. Say here, this awakened mind is the ultimate bodhicitta. Ultimate bodhicitta, not the conventional bodhicitta. Buddha said, the Buddhas, they said that what is ultimate bodhicitta? As you said, the wisdom of the Mahayana Arya beings, which realizes emptiness, which directly realizes the emptiness. This is what we said. Don't forget it. Don't forget what he said. Now, this is what is being explained here. The Buddhas, Arya Nagarjuna is quoting the Buddhas, that Buddhas maintain the awakening mind here. Bodhicitta, which bodhicitta? Ultimate bodhicitta. What's ultimate bodhicitta? Now imagine that you experience ultimate bodhicitta. Imagine that you are now experiencing ultimate bodhicitta. You have the Mahayana Arya's wisdom of emptiness, wisdom which directly realizes emptiness. You have this bodhicitta now. You are seeing emptiness directly. So there it says that this wisdom, what is the experience like? This experience not obscured by such conceptions as consciousness of self, as aggregates, and so on, is always characterized by emptiness. Okay, let's not forget this. This is so precious. Now let me give you some the background information. Okay. Okay, same thing. What we said is that some people will say this is water. Some people say this is H2O, and others will say this is electrons, protons, neutrons. Okay, who is correct? All are correct. Okay, so let's say that you are seeing this group A is seeing this as water, and group B, those from the pillar, and before that you are seeing this as H2O, and those behind the pillar with Raman, Deshin, Norbu, Padma, Saskit, Yoginder, Julia, and the rest below, you are seeing this as electrons, protons, neutrons. And who is correct? Hey, are you correct or not correct? This is water. Are you correct? No, this is H2O. Yes. And others, you say correct? Electron, proton. Okay, right. Okay, let's say that the third group, when you're seeing this as electrons, protons, neutrons, are you seeing water? Hey, the third group, are you seeing water? You're not seeing water. You're just seeing electrons, protons, neutrons. You getting it? Okay. Group B, when you see this H2O, are you seeing water? No. Or you can say just a molecule, not like the flowing, right? H2O will not flow. Group of H2O will flow. You're getting H2O, molecule will not flow. Okay. So this is, for you, this is water. So when you say just H2O, 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 there's no flow. It's just a molecule, molecule, molecule. That's it. And for you, this is even worse, electrons, protons, neutrons. So for you, where's water? You will say there's no water. But then you are seeing the water. Where is this water which they are seeing? Where is the water which they are seeing? I'm asking the group C. Huh? Okay. This Sonam and Lakila both of saying is subjective. Okay. Hey, group C, do you agree? With two of them? Oh, Isabella doesn't agree. Isabella, where is their water which they're seeing?
You are not in their mind.
Huh?
It's not in their mind, it's in your hand.
Okay, water is in my hand. But you are not seeing the water. Huh?
I'm saying
You are seeing electrons, protons, neutrons. So if I say nan, so the electron, proton, neutron, they are not water. So I remove the electrons, protons, neutrons. And where is that water which they were seeing?
Gone.
Okay, look. This is, say group A, group B. Group A sees this water, this one, not water, as a flower. Group B sees this full of atoms, electrons, protons, neutrons. Hey, group A sees this as flower. And say group A, group A likes the flower, and everybody loves the flower. So group A, what is this? You like it? Amazing. Group B, you're looking at the electron microscope. What are you seeing? Electrons, protons, neutrons. You love the electron, protons, neutrons? Huh?
Yeah.
Which you like more, the electron, protons, neutrons, or the flower? Okay, say, so you like the bread or you like electron, protons, neutrons of the bread? If you like the electron, protons, neutrons of bread, don't worry, I'll give a stone. Electron, protons, neutrons of the stone and electron, neutrons of the bread is same, identical. You're getting it? There's no difference. Okay, so what I'm saying is that for you, with your particular perception of the electrons, protons, neutrons, attachment to the object dissolves. You perceiving this as a flower, attachment to the object arises. So in other words, your perception decides your emotional state. You're getting it? And we are disturbed by the emotional states. Don't forget it. We're disturbed by the emotional states of anger, attachment, and so forth. And these emotions are determined by a perception. And perceptions differ. And whose perceptions are correct? This is a serious. And then say, okay, is this flower or not flower? Huh? This is flower, right? If you say this non-flower is wrong. Yes, it's wrong. The object cannot be flower as well as non-flower. You agree? Hey, you agree not flower? Hey, are you flower or not?
Yes.
Oh, wow, you're flower. That's amazing. So, okay, are you flower or not?
No.
Okay, which means if you say that, oh, I'm a human being, I'm not a flower. So flower and non-flower cannot be with the same object, yes? Flower and no flower cannot be in the same object, yes? So you said this flower, they said no flower. It cannot be the same object. So therefore, so then who is correct? Say, I'm Dorji, I'm non-Dorji. One is wrong. Both cannot be correct simultaneously. This flower, non-flower, both cannot be correct simultaneously, right? Yes.
Все зависит от того, кто смотрит. Если на цветок смотрит простой человек, он видит цветок. А если квантовый физик, Его заботит о том, как именно там атомы организованы, и они там ведут себя не так, как мне хочется, в соответствии с моими теориями. Я вижу не цветок, я вижу атомы, и они меня беспокоят.
It depends on the person who is watching. If, for example, ordinary person is watching, then he sees the flower, and if quantum physicist is watching, he sees a collection of atoms which do not behave in the way he wants them to behave.
How many agree with Sasha, saying that what it is, flower, non-flower, it entirely depends on how you perceive it. How many agree with Sasha reasons?
Саша тоже согласен.
How many don't agree with Sasha reasons? Oh, which means everybody agrees. You agree, not agree?
So I have one idea about distance between me and this flower.
Yes, so?
On microscope, yes, it's not flower. But if I stay here, I see.
So it depends on how you look at it, right? This is exactly what Sasha said. So in other words, we all agree that what it is, whether it's a flower or a bunch of atoms, it is all determined by how you perceive. You agree? You agree? Okay. If you agree, it depends on the perception. Perception, okay, now let's see. Group A sees flower. Group B sees full of atoms, no flower. Let me say this again. Group A, what do you see? Flower. Group B, what do you see? No flower. Only atoms, no flower. Okay, with respect to flower, no flower. Group A, flower. Group B, flower, no flower. No flower. You getting it? And according to all of us, we agreed with Sasha saying that flower, no flower is determined by how you perceive. Okay, this is very important. Next. This is flower or chocolate?
Flower.
If I say this chocolate, wrong, right?
Wrong.
Wrong. It depends on perception. You said it depends on perception, right? Hey, why? If somebody says this chocolate is wrong, why? It depends on perception. You said it. Anyone, can you say the difference? That one, you said that this flower, no flower, it's just full of atoms. You said both are correct. Now this flower and no, and this is chocolate. Both are correct. You said no, both cannot be correct. In the first case, you said both are correct. In the second case, you said both are not correct. One should be wrong. So what makes you say in the second case, this is a flower, and you said this flower, I said this is chocolate. You say it cannot be chocolate. Chocolate cannot be a flower. Yes.
Because flower and chocolate have different substances, we see the substance of the flower. We don't see the substance of the chocolate.
Flower and the chocolate substance same. Electrons, protons, neutrons the same. Electrons of the flower and the electrons of the chocolate, there's no difference. If you don't agree, remove all the electrons from the flower, replace with the electrons of the chocolate, it still remains a flower. Jimela? Is there anybody who can give the good answer that it will make my day? In the first case, you said flower, no flower, both are correct. In the second case, flower, no flower is a chocolate. Is both it's not that both are correct. Only one is correct. What distinction would you make? This is very important. Anyone?
Convention decides.
Conventions
actually decides.
How?
Socially constructed.
If somebody can relate it to what Sasha said, you getting it? Sasha said, if some can relate this. Anyone? Okay, Dasanla.
The subjective point of view, it can be also chocolate.
No, never say this is chocolate. You're getting it? Never say this is chocolate. But if you say this is full of atoms, no flower, people will not argue with you. But if you say this is chocolate, people say you're crazy. They will send you to mental hospital. Yes, say Allah. Attention lie. Labeling. We can also label as chocolate. Okay, say Allah. Yes.
It's a wrong info. We are getting wrong info. Lokshe.
The question. You want a question? Lokshe. Which one? Okay. If you say this is chocolate, this is lokshe. Lokshe means just the deceptive mind. Whereas this is no flower, it's just full of atoms. It's problem. This is not lokshe. This is not deceptive mind. This is what Sian is saying. But how do you make this distinction? Okay, now let's say one over there.
I think it is the same object, but they are comfortable in calling it as a group of items.
Yes.
And we are comfortable naming it as a flower.
Yes.
Basically, it is the same item.
Then what about the chocolate and flower?
If we are going to their reference, then we can call it as a chocolate also.
No, never. The first part you are making me to celebrate too early. Okay, now finally, Kandila.
It's the relationship between the protoconstitutions and electrons. The chocolate forms cocoa beans and the plant forms cellulose. What's the relationship as opposed to after stuff made out of it?
So say electrons, protons, neutrons. So let's say this is flower, and you say this is flower. I say this is chocolate, and both cannot be correct. Only one is correct. You agree? Whereas you say this is flower, and others say this is pool of atoms. You say both are correct.
The difference between the flower and the chocolate is that the flower's protons, neutrons, and neutrons form cellulose in different molecules, as opposed to the chocolate forming cocoa beans and sugar and whatnot.
Okay, so I would say that what Gandhila is saying and what your name? What Dana and what Gandhila is saying is, they are saying, okay, how many of you would agree that what they are saying, I'm going to paraphrase what they are saying and see if you two of you agree with me. What you are saying, if I could paraphrase you correctly. So what they are saying is that, say, okay, first let's start from what Sasha said. So how you see things, it depends on your perception. You're getting it? And there are two different perceptions. There are two different perceptions. And added to this, what's your name? What, Elena or Lena? Lena. So what Lena said is close and distance. You're getting it? Close and distance. So, say what Sasha is saying, that looking at the same object very close, as what Lena said, very close, you see the pool of atoms, no flower. Is right. And the same object seen from distance, different perception takes place. You see it's a flower. That's right. Whereas, so there's a difference in terms of the same object, but the perception changes depending on the distance. Depending on the distance, so the perception changes. Whereas in this case, distance remains the same. I ask, you say this is flower, I say this is chocolate. Distance is the same. I don't go too close to see it's a chocolate. Distance remains the same. The frame of reference is the same. What constitutes the flower, what constitutes chocolate is very different. So molecules, cocoa, and so forth. So the constituents are very different. And the perception, which is perception, frame of reference with which you perceive the object, with your own mind, is at the same distance. Whereas in the case of the flower, so the frame of reference is different. One very close, them very close to the object, one very far away from the object. You agree? Okay. If this is what you agree, what we call, let's say that, okay, now how many you will be very happy to say that group A says this is flower and group B says this is chocolate. You will say that group B is wrong. Raise hands. Okay, group A says this is a flower, group B says this is pool of atoms, no flower. It's correct, both are correct. Raise hands. There is a difference there. So what is this difference? Is that with the same frame of reference, say I keep this here and I look at it, I say this is a flower. And I say, oh, this is chocolate. You're getting it? Same frame of reference, and I describe two different things. These two cannot be flower and non-flower cannot be correct simultaneously, because we are talking about the same perception or the same frame of reference of the perception. Whereas from distance, oh, there's a flower. Close by, no flower. The frame of reference changes. You getting it? Frame of reference changes. It is like, for example, let's say, okay, let me give an example. Say that, okay, you put on blue glasses, and, okay, and you put on red glasses, you put on blue glasses, and I'm holding this yellow lid. So you put on red glasses, and so what's the color of this? You will say, huh? We're talking about emptiness, right? Yellow and red combined together, it becomes red. Hey, no hope. So here, you put blue glasses. Hey, what is this color? Oh, very good. I'm glad. At least how you can make me happy. Thank you. You're getting it? Okay. So you invariably see this is green. You invariably see this is red, right? Not the orange. You're getting it? Kalyan, what do you see? Orange color. Thank you. You can understand us. Okay. So what I'm saying is the same object, you perceive two different things. One sees this as green, one sees this as orange. You're getting it? Likewise, the same object from distance, from distance you see it's a flower. From close by you see this as full of atoms, no flower. You're getting it? So Sasha said that this is both are correct, but the perception is different because perception is not decided by the object, it's decided by the subject. You're getting it? Now my question to you, this is a very important question. Okay, so what you said, what Sasha said, which you all agree with, is that, what is this? It entirely depends on how you perceive. How you perceive means your perception. Your perception is subject or object? Your perception is subject or object? Subject. I am not interested. Okay, this is a very serious question. We'll stop here after this, and this is going to be homework. I am not interested in your subject. I'm interested in object. You're getting it? Remove the subjects. I'm not interested in the subjects. I'm interested in the object. You're getting it? My question, what is this object? Hey. Hey, what is this object? Flower is according to how you see. You getting it? It's your subject. It's how you see. How you see. I'm not interested in how you see. I'm interested in this object. How you see is the subject. I'm not into the subject.
There is no object.
Are you sure? Nidya.
I don't know.
Where do you live?
Chandra.
Okay. What about, do you have a safe? You kept the jewelry there? You locked it? Why did you lock it? When the subject came all the way to Ladakh, it disappears.
But I'm not the only subject.
Which subjects are there?
All the other people.
People they are not watching your jukebox. Okay, what is there, right? If you say there's nothing there, it is like nihilism. So emptiness is not nihilism. You're getting it? Okay. So what is there? I'm not interested in your subject. So Sasha said, it depends on how you perceive. How you perceive as a subject. You said it. I'm not interested in the subject. I'm not an object. Remove all the subjects. What is object? What is really there? Wow. Emptiness is there. Okay. Emptiness is, who saw the emptiness?
You can perceive it mentally.
Okay, so it's also subject. Okay, so now let us, this is a serious question. So before we leave, I'd like to share with you, there's this object. Say, when you say this is a flower, you cannot deny that it is a flower. It is flower. You're correct. When you say there's no flower, it's full of atoms, this is also undeniable. This is also reality. So what is the difference? What Sasha said, let me put it like this. Say the same object is seen from a distance. A mind, a subject which is distant from the object, and the same object is seen by a subject, a mind which is close by the object. You're getting it? So the mind which sees the object from close by, we call it ultimate analysis. The mind which looks at the same object from close by is known as ultimate analysis, and the mind which sees the same object from distance is known as conventional analysis. Conventional analysis meaning and the ultimate analysis known as Twendam Chujig law. Twendam Chujig law and Kunzub Chujig law. Okay, so that don't forget it. Now, if the same object is seen by two different perceptions, ultimate analysis, conventional analysis, you are bound to see two different things. It's the same object, but you're bound to see two different things. But if you look at the same object from the same perspective, like ultimate analysis, you should not be able to see two different things. If you look at the same object from the conventional analysis, you cannot see two different things, like chocolate and flower. You cannot see like this. You're getting it? Okay. So with this, my question is that the same object can be seen by two different perceptions. You're getting it? What are the two different perceptions? Ultimate analysis and conventional analysis. You're getting it? This is very important. Now, object. Okay, look, this is a technical aspect now. Object which is seen by the ultimate, which is validly seen, validly, this keyword. Object which is, okay, I'm keeping this here. I'm keeping this object. I'm not going to say flower or atoms and so forth. Okay, I'm keeping this here. So this object, as seen by the valid conventional analysis, known as conventional truth of the object. Let me read it. This is a technical aspect. The object, this object, I'm not going to say what this object is. This object, I put it in front of me, as seen by the valid conventional analysis, is known as conventional truth of this object. Okay, now, hey, group A, what do you see? Flower. So the flower is the conventional truth of this object. Now, the same object as seen by the valid ultimate analysis is known as ultimate truth of the object. Hey, group B, what do you see? Flower, no flower? No flower with respect to you. No flower with respect to the which analysis? Ultimate, no flower with respect to ultimate analysis is the ultimate truth of this object. You're getting it? Shall I repeat it?
Valid ultimate analysis.
Okay. What does it mean by valid ultimate analysis? Is the question? Okay. What is meant valid? So ultimate analysis is the, okay, this is a good question. What is meant by valid ultimate analysis is, okay, I'm looking from, okay, those raising hands, please put your hand down, because when you're raising your hand, you're not listening to me. You're excited with your question. When you don't listen to me, you will miss the technical things. You're getting it? Just listen to me for the time being. Okay. What is valid ultimate analysis? What is valid conventional analysis? So, okay, from distance, I look at it and I see this as a flower. Versus from distance, somebody who's hallucinating, look at it, you see this is a teddy bear, right? Teddy bear. So which is valid? The mind which sees the conventional analysis which sees the flower, or the conventional which sees this as the teddy bear? Which is valid? Valid mean, what is valid? What's mean of valid?
Correct. Conventional truth.
Correct. Correct. Valid means correct. Correct, non-deceptive. Correct. So, valid conventional analysis means the correct mind which looks at the object from distance. Let me repeat it. The valid conventional analysis is the valid or the correct mind which looks at the object from distance. And valid ultimate analysis is a mind which is correct and analyzing the object from close by. You're getting it? This is known as the valid ultimate analysis. So you are bound to see the object in two different ways. Okay, now? Yes?
How do we know we are not losing?
Okay, this is a good question. Are you in Ladakh or not? No, this is not my question. Are you in Ladakh or not?
Yes, I think I'm sure.
Are you sure or not sure?
I feel sure.
You feel sure, but you're not sure.
I am sure.
You are sure.
But
how do you know that?
people who are listening are also sure.
No, this is my question to you. How do you know that you are in Ladakh? Okay, first give this answer to me. You're getting it? How How is it that you know that you're in Ladakh? You give the answer, you get all the answers. You're getting it? Say, you came from Delhi. True? Hey, you came from Delhi, Chandigarh. You live in Delhi, I know. It's wrong. Are you sure it's wrong? No. Are you sure that it's wrong that you live in Delhi?
I feel sure.
Okay, tomorrow, do you want breakfast or no? Sure? This evening you'll have dinner? Sure? How do you know you're sure?
I don't know how I know. That is the question I'm asking my teacher.
Do you know that you're sure?
I feel sure.
You feel sure, but you're not sure. Okay, so look, this question is something which is unending. You're getting it? So these people, they should be subjected to the reality. Don't give breakfast and see how they react. Then they're sure that, somebody don't give them the breakfast. They're very sure. You'll come into emotion. When the breakfast, everything is fed so well, then all these debates will come. You're getting it? All these debates will come. So when somebody says that, hey, you're not registered. You're not registered. Nidya, you're not registered. So how come that you are in this room? Get out, right? No, I'm registered. I'm sure you're registered. I'm sure you're registered. You know that. You're getting it? So only when you encounter the reality, till that point, you will just fly in the air. When you come in the reality, then the reality will tell you that I'm sure. You're getting it? Particularly related to your well-being. Okay, good. So what I was supposed to be saying?
I'm a bit confused right now. The example that you've given us before, chocolate comes in which category then?
Oh, that's true. Okay, this is a chocolate. This is chocolate. The mind which sees this as a chocolate, this falls under the invalid conventional analysis. That's true. Okay, so what we learned thus far is that same objects can be seen in two different ways. You getting it? Okay, before we wind this up, okay, pick up something and look at it. Pick up something, look at it, and see how it appears. It appears as objectively real or subjectively real. How does it appear to you? Objectively real. And imagine a cheesecake. Just imagine there's a real cheesecake in front of you. How would you see that? Object real, subject real. Subject real, right? Hey, who said it? Okay, cheesecake, how would you see that? Subject real, object real. Objectively real. Very good. Object real. Now, if it does exist objectively means from the object, ultimately, not subjectively. Subjective as opposed to objective, and subjective and conventional, they mean the same. Conventional as opposed to ultimate. You're getting it? So the mind which sees things from close by is known as ultimate analysis. You getting it? So if the object is seen as objectively real, that is seen as ultimately real. If the object exists ultimately real, which mind should see that? Conventional analysis, ultimate analysis. Let's not forget it. We're getting many information now. Say the object seen by the valid ultimate analysis is known as ultimate truth. So object seen by the valid conventional analysis known as conventional truth. Now, say if you say the object that you picked up and you looked at it, you see this is coming from the subject or coming from the object. How does it appear? Coming from the object. So coming from the object means it should be seen by going close by it. Going close by the object. What is that mind known as which go closer to the object? Ultimate analysis. If the object exists objectively, it must be seen by the ultimate analysis. Do you get it? Okay, we will continue this tomorrow. Okay, we'll stop. Okay. Dedication prayer, page 52. I dedicate the marriage thus gathered towards the realization that is in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. Man, all lives through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplishes all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast space that have amassed from working with effort in this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief Vidyam Buddha for all those whose minds, wisdom, eyes blind by ignorance. Tabge tuje shage rezo cho shenge min ge bonjomba sege lumbo tabo jebe ko shaye gebo tela cha se no oh Hemone Mahamona Yeswaha Om Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswaha Tabge tuje shaye rezo chong shenge meto dege bonjomba serge dumbo tabo jebe ko shaye gebo acha zelo oh mone mone mahamona yeswaha Om Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswaha Tabge tuje shaye rezo chong shenge Dege bonjomba sege lumbo tabo jebe ko shaye gebo kela cha zelo Oh, Mone, Mone, Mahamona Yeswaha. Oh, Mone, Mone, Mahamona Yeswaha. Tabge tuje shaye rezo chong shenge medo bonjomba serge lumbo tabo jebe ko shaye gebo Kela Chase Lo Oh Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswaha Om 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 Mone Mone Mahamona Yeswaha. Okay, 3 processions together.